Hello guys, welcome everyone. Hope everyone is doing fine. So today it's going to be Git session 2. In overall it's DevOps session 5. So yesterday what we discussed, we have seen how a Git look likes in architecture perspective. Today let's see how Git works. Means let us execute some commands. Let us see that what is that working area, what is that staging area, what is local repository, what is remote repository. So we have seen this in previous video. Like I've just shown you some diagram and I told you, how code passes from next step to another, like one step to another step. So this is the place where we are going to see it practical. And in previous session I just asked you to set up these two parts. One is Git bash and second one is GitHub account. So Git bash you can just download it from Google itself. GitHub you can just sign up an account. So in my case I've already downloaded and installed Git bash. See, this is how it looks like. So this is the icon, so you have to open it. Okay, so I'll tell you one ideal case. See, now I'm into E directory. See, I got a project called, let's say, ABCD project, ABCD bank. Let's say this is my project. So this is the place where I am going to write all my this code. Right, initial stage I have to write, right? So if I want to build a code, first I have to write it. I have to write it somewhere. So later part only I can commit all the next level things. So this is the place where I am ready to, where I am planning to start coding my requirement. Okay, so simple thing is, from here if you want to go to Git bash, okay, just give a right click, you will get Git bash here. Just open it. See, now you are at ABCD. Now you are at ABCD directory. See, you could see ABCD. See, you could, if you observe something, let's say, now just let me copy this and just let me paste here. Okay, and let me copy this path. Let me copy this path and paste here. See, the first one I copied from Windows, second one I copied from Git bash. If you observe, both the paths are same. Under E we are having ABCD directory. Here also under E we are having ABCD directory. But if you observe the slashes, so this is typical Windows version. This is actually how it looks like in Linux. So Git bash, it looks like you can execute all the commands mostly. What we execute on Linux, so what we covered in first session, second session and third session about Linux commands, that you can actually execute here. So but this is from Windows. See, the way if you save some file, it is going to get saved here. Okay, hope you understood. So don't get confused, it's a simple tool. Okay, so now I am at E/ABCD. This is the place where I want to build my code. This is the place where I want to build my code. So in every point, what I'm just very first point, whenever you do Git stuff, whenever you create a folder, very first you have to tell the Git who are you, because once you build the code, you are going to do lot of changes on the code. So Git should know who is doing the changes. Correct. So if I build some code, if someone entered and someone has done some changes, there may be a chance of corrupting the code. Code. So Git should know who is accessing the code. Git should know who is accessing the code. See, yesterday we have seen one example. Like, see, this is our local. This is, let's say, our remote repository. See, here I am working. I've just developed some code and I've pushed here. I developed some code and I pushed here. So here I've written some code. Like here you will get that code, right? So next day some other engineer has joined here. So he has just got the code from the remote repository. He has done some changes, but this is absolutely wrong. His intention is to spoil the code. So he has written something. He has again pushed it back to the remote repository. So in that case, code will be corrupted. You can't track it, right? In general scenario, you can't track it. If you have common folders and all, you cannot track who has done the part. But in Git, you can track everything. What you are doing, what is happening with code, you can track at any level. So once you started building the code, from that point to deploying everywhere, you can track what is happening with the code, who is accessing it, who is modifying it. Everything you can access it. So to tell that, to get all this tracking point, Git should know first of all who are you, who is doing the changes. This is my machine, so I should tell Git this is Mahesh. Okay, so this is my identity, so I am the person who are going to work here. Okay, so how to set that? To set that, the very basic command is git config -- global user dot name, okay, colon, let's say I am telling my name is Mahesh GitLab, let's say. Okay, enter. Now you have to configure your email as well. You have to configure your email as well. Email mahesh.anuganti5 @gmail.com, let's say. Enter. So now I am telling, hey Git, this is Mahesh. Okay, so this is my mail ID. So whatever the changes I do on this, it can be tracked easily. So now if you want to see like list of all the global configuration, this we call global configuration. This we called global configuration. So if you want to see the list of the global configuration list, who has what has done, so you can simply git config -- global -- list, enter. See this one actually somewhere like before this I have just given wrong command, so that it has taken it. Just ignore this line. So these are the 2 points what I have given now. Okay, if you, in your case you will get 2 lines only, because before this session was like I was into some other execution. At that moment I have given something like user.mail, so it has taken that. Okay, so in your case ideally you should get these 2 lines only. Okay, one is user.name, one is user.email. Okay guys, so this is the basic setup. This is the basic setup. So now let's see, and this is your working area. This is your working area. Let's see what are the files existed here. So just give ls first of all. So nothing is there. Give ls-a. See, ls is nothing but to list all the files. Okay, list the files. ls-a is nothing but list all the files, including that hidden files. So whatever the file starts with this dot will be called as hidden file. So ls-a tells, like that command tells like to show all the files including the hidden file. Okay, so now let me execute git init. I'll tell you the scenario. Git init. Okay, initialize an empty repository, that is fine. ls-a. Now you just see it. You got one directory, but you have not done anything. You just simply executed git init. You simply executed git init, then you got this dot git. What is this dot git? So git init is nothing but git initialization. So this command to initialize the working directory as git repository. Okay, so this working directory should know it, its connections, right? Where I have to push the code, that part it should know. Okay, so to establish the connection with remote repository, we need this. Okay, now let's see some. Let us create some files. Let us see create touch a. So this is to create an empty file. Now you can give ls. You can see file a. Let us create some multiple files. B, C, D, E, F. Okay, now you have files like A, B, C, D, E, F. So these are the 6 files you have under A, B, C, D directory. So in your working directory. Now we have one command. Just give git status. Just give git status. Git status will tell you status of these files. I told you we are going to have 3 repository, like 3 working areas in local repository, right? So we are going to have 3 areas on local machine. One is working area, second one is staging area, third one is local repository. These 3 portions are going to be sit on local machine. So you should know, and we said these are untracked files. Files in staging will be called as index file or staged files, and files in local repository will be called as committed file. Correct? So you should know, and I said the like content won't be changed. Content won't be changed inside the file. So you should know where the file is. To check the status, we are using a command called git status. So when I give git status, what it is telling, no commits yet, means we have not done any commit. We have not done any commit, and it is telling untracked files. These files are untracked files. What I said, the files which are existing in first directory, means working directory, will be called as untracked files or modified files. Okay, see now if whatever you created, you can see here in the same folder. Correct? Okay, leave this. Okay, so now these 6 files are in working directory and these are untracked files. So what it is suggesting, see, if you see, you can see here git add file name to include what will be committed, to include in what will be committed. What it is telling is execute this command to initiate the commits. What is mean by commit? I said from working to staging, we have to like if you want to move the file from working to staging, you have to give git add command. From staging to local repository, you have to give commit command. Correct? The process here will be adding, here it will be commit. So what it is suggesting is to initiate the commits, execute this line. Execute this line. Let's see. Let us execute for only file A. Git add A. Sorry. Git add A. Okay. Now just check that git status again. See, now you could see A as green line, remaining all in red, because we have added it. We have added it to the staging area. See, still it is saying no commits yet. Still we have not done any commits. We just, what we have done, we have just moved this file from working directory to staging area. So if you commit, it will go to local repository. So what I have done, I have just added to staging. So now these file A in staging and B, C, D, E, F are still in untracked area. If you give ls, you can see all these files. I said you already, this is just like a buffer zone. You are not going to have separate areas and visually. You have to get the status. You have to get this. You have to get where it is by seeing the status only. Okay. So now this is done. Let us commit this to the local repository. Git commit. Just give -m. -m stands for message. So what message it has to be? For every commit, you should identify what you have done, Okay. Let's say this is my first commit. So this is the message I have given for this commit. Okay. Enter. Okay. Now you could see one file changed, 0 insertions, 0 delete. Okay, so we have not done anything. So this is my first commit. The commit has done, file has changed. Now just give again same git status. See, now you can't see A. You are seeing only untracked files. Okay, and earlier, see, when I have done this for after git add, if I check git status, it is showing no commits yet. But now it's not showing that. We have executed same command because one commit was there. Hope you understood. So when I have given git add, the file has moved from working area to staging directory. When I have done git commit, it has moved from staging to local repository. I hope you understood the flow. Okay, and git log is git status is something to track the files where these are, to see the status of the files. Okay, so now I feel all these like like B, C, D, E, F. I want to add all these to staging. Let's say git add. You can earlier you have done only for A. How you have done? You have added git add A. But now I want to do I want to add all these files together to staging. Just give git add dot. Check the git status. See, now every file is changed to green color. Means these are in staging area now. Just give git commit -m. Let's say bulk commit. I've just done it already, right? Okay, see now everything has changed. 5 files has changed. Just give git status, nothing. And the branch master, nothing to commit. Working tree is clean. So now just tell me where all these 6 files. Now all the 6 files are in local repository. Now all the 6 files in local repository. So the next point is you have to push this to remote repository, but let us see that part later. Okay, that is about one command, but you have to understand the flow in local repository first. You have to understand the flow in local repository. Okay, again I'm just quick review. Like, to add files from working directory to staging, we have to use git add. From staging to local repository, we have to use git commit. So here files will be staged files, here files will be committed files. To check the status, we have to use git status. Okay, so now we have seen git status, and what we said, we said in git everything is will be tracked. So how it will be tracked? Just give git log. See, you can see this. See, you can see this, right? So very first commit I have done, very first commit, this is my first commit. Okay, so this is the commit ID. With this you can do lot of activities. With this you can do lot of activities. See, when I have done bulk commit, this is the commit ID. Okay, so now you can track everything. So this was my first commit. This is the message of first commit. This is my second commit. You can see message of second commit. And one more thing you could see here, head. And one more, you are looking at master. Master is nothing but the branch. So we will discuss about branch in some other time, like latter part. So as of now, you just look at this part, head. What is mean by head? Head is the latest commit in the git. Head is the latest commit in the git. So whenever you want to fetch, by using other tools to fetch the code, it will fetch from head only. Very first point, it will fetch from head only. Okay, so you don't want to see this much big thing. You just give git log --, one line. See, now you got same output. Where it is, sorry. See, you got same output, my first commit and bulk commit, but you don't have all this data. This is a rough way. Whenever you want to use only commit IDs, this is the thing. See, if you observe, here we are having this much big code, but here you have only 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 characters. Okay, ideally these 7 are enough to perform the activities by using this commit ID. This we call as commit ID. Okay, and head is the latest commit in the git, so that you have to remember. Okay, so now what we have seen, git init we have seen, and remember that git init is important. So we have just configured global user, we have just initialized git, we have created some files, we added it to staging, and we moved it, we committed it to local repository. We have seen git status, we have seen git log, we have seen git log -1 line. Okay, so this is the point. Now very quick, let us cover one more point. Just let me clear. Okay, so the point I am going to discuss is now git ignore. Okay, git ignore. See, let's say frequently, let's say you are going to let's say what are the files here, git abcdef. Okay, let's see git status. So nothing, working tree is very clean. Now let me create one 4 files. Let's say GHIJ, touch GHIJ. Just give git status GHIJ. But what is my requirement now? See, some from these G and H, these are the 2 files is going to be updated every time. So whenever you do update, it has to be committed. It has to commit to reflect the changes. See, if you do changes on working directory, it won't reflect in your application, right? So once you're done with your changes in local repository, you have to add it again to staging, you have to commit it to local repository, then you have to push it to remote repository. That's the process, right? So that was a pipeline. But here what you are thinking is this G and H, these are the two files I have to update every day. So I don't want to add it. I don't want to add it to staging or to local repository. So means you are expecting Git should not track this. Git should not track this G and H files. Git should not track this G and H files. So what you can do is you can simply create one file called git ignore. You can call git ignore. Sorry. So it is just vi. I told you vi is an editor. Okay. So just enter. There it is. Okay. So just enter I to get into insert mode. So what are the files I am thinking not to be tracked? G, H. Just Control C or escape, colon WQ, save it. So earlier when you have done git status, you could see GHIJ files. Okay, now just give git status again. See, you are not seeing G and H. Instead of G and H, you are looking at git ignore. Means these files, let's say in bulk commit, what we have done in bulk commit, whenever we committed, when we have given git add dot, it has taken all the files from the directory to staging. Let us now give git add dot, enter. Just now give git status. See, it is saying new file I, new file J, but it is not showing G and H. It is not showing G and H. Okay, it is not showing G and H, means that files I've included in git ignore file. Means this file is telling that whatever the files mentioned in my like inside me should not be tracked with git, should not be tracked by git. So even if you upload it to remote repository, let's say even if you upload it to remote repository, you could see only the file name. See, there also you can see git ignore file. If you commit it and if you push it to local remote repository, in remote repository you could see A, B, C, D, E, F, after that I, J, and in between you can see git ignore as well. If you open git ignore, you can see file names of G and H, but you cannot see what is inside G and H. Okay, let's say in all these files I have written some code. Under A I have written inside the A I written some code, inside B I have written some code, inside C I have written some code. So from A to J, for every file I have written some code. Okay, so you're done with git add, you're done with git commit. So from local repository, remote repository, you can do git push. So once you push into the remote repository, there you can see all these files. There you can see all these files A, B, C, D, E, F, I, J. You can't see GH. Okay, but you can see git ignore, and you can open this git ignore as well. If you open the git ignore, you will just simply find the file names G and H, but you cannot find the data inside the GH. But at the same moment, you can see the data inside the remaining files A, B, C, D, E, F, I, J, but you can't see the data inside GH. Hope you understood. So this is one drawback, because when I push the code to remote repository, some other developer will see, okay, Mahesh has hidden some files. No, although he is not seeing my data, he will come to know that I am hiding some files. Okay, guys. So if you want Git to not track your files, specific files, you can mention that files under git ignore. Okay, so that is about git ignore. Let us stop the session here. Hope everyone understood. So if there is any issue, please let me know. I'll try to resolve it. Okay, so this is, see guys, why the reason I am doing only 25 minutes, this simple session, get your time to understand deeply. See, if you sit and if you execute these commands, it's all about 5 minutes work. But try to explore how see, I've shown you how to execute. Try to explore in your own way. So spend these remaining 25 minutes to understand it in multi-purpose. Okay, so if you have any doubts, please let me know. I hope I've covered the important points for this session. Okay, so let us see in next session. Until then, take care everyone, stay safe, bye.